What's going on, guys? Today I got one video. It's a little bit different from what I typically do. So I don't know, back 4 or 5 months ago, something like that, me and my wife actually were able to purchase 4 acres behind R2 where our house is. So now we have a total of 6, which actually gives me the ability to be able to hunt right behind my house. So I've been doing a little bit of work, just trying to make it possible that I can do that. 6 acres is pretty small, but the way this sets up is actually pretty good for deer hunting. About half of it is old pasture, which I've kind of let grow up. Kind of works as a little bit of a cover, so it's screening from our house. And the back half is some old planted pines, and there's a little bit of a creek with some hardwoods down one side of the property. And back where those pines are is actually a really good pinch point. I mean, any deer that needs to move north and south for about a mile, they're gonna have to cross right through that little pine stand to avoid walking across just wide open pasture. So it works out, it sets up really well. I'm really excited about it. But it is really close to my house. You can see my house is about, 250 yards back there. So I've let part of it grow up in this, big, tall grass stuff, which works really well for screening. And then I've got this little plot here that I've been spraying. I've sprayed it about 3 or 4 times this year. Got it mostly down to kind of bare dirt. You can kind of tell there. So today what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna come out here and I'm gonna try to plant some of this Domain No BS food plot mix. It's supposed to require minimal to no tilling. I don't really have a lot of time to get some equipment out here and do this, so I'm just gonna, I've sprayed it. We got it pretty well down to bare earth. I'm just gonna hand broadcast it, and I've got some old chain link fence. We're gonna come back over it and drag over it, make sure we got good soil contact. We're gonna see what happens. I don't know, I don't have a lot of high expectations. I haven't done a pH test, which most of y'all are gonna say that, I should have done, and I know, but it's just a time thing. I may throw some fertilizer out here at some point, but hopefully I can get a little bit of something out of this stuff, this little small plot. I'm gonna hang a stand of some sort right there in one of those little pine trees. It's just the perfect little spot to kind of ambush one on the back of this old growed up pasture. All right, guys, I just kind of flipped the camera around a little bit so you can get a little bit better picture of it. But everywhere that you're seeing that's dead, dried out, that's where I'm gonna be kind of planting this little bit of food plot. And like I said, I'm just gonna scatter some seeds, come back and drag over it and see what happens. I might do a little fertilizing. There's where I'm gonna hang a stand, or where I'm gonna, I don't know if I'll put a stand there or saddle hunt from it or what. But back behind us here, this is that old little pine stand, and it's thick and grown up in there. And right on the back side of it is another pasture. And I'll show you what that kind of looks like on Onyx, and so you can kind of see how good of a funnel it is. But anyways, here in just a second, I'm gonna go ahead and kind of broadcast this stuff. And then I'll get my old 3-wheeler out and drag over it with some chain link, big section chain link fence, so we can try to increase our soil contact. And I may go ahead and spray it again to kill some of this stuff here when I'm finished, just to make sure that everything's nice and dead and that our seeds can thrive. But anyways, y'all stay tuned here in just a second and we'll get this scattered out, and then also I'm gonna set a trail camera out over it, and we'll hopefully be able to kind of watch the growth. And I'll just kind of update, over the next couple months, and then post this video once we got either a good food plot standing, or I know that it's not gonna work, and then, well, y'all probably won't see it, but we're gonna get to work and see what happens. All right, guys, so I didn't mention earlier what's in this food plot mix. Looks like it's a Arctic brand oat, trophy rape, crimson red clover, some radishes, some more clover, chicory, and some other stuff. So I don't know, we'll just put it out and kind of see what comes up. So I'm about to get busy spreading it around just by hand. So I know this is a smaller area than what this is actually supposed to plant, so I'm going to kind of overseed it and then hope that, you know, we get a good bit of it to come up. It's been 1 week since I planted this food plot. I've already got stuff coming up pretty good here. All right, so it's been, let's see, 3 weeks since I planted this food plot, and the past week or so it's been really dry, so I was concerned that was gonna, you know, really set it back. But I mean, it's looking pretty good in places. This side over here is definitely the best looking part of the food plot, and it gets a little more shade. Maybe it just hasn't burned up, you know, and it's really spotty, but that's just a fact of, you know, the way that I planted. Not having a broadcaster and doing it all by hand. See, right in here, I mean, it's pretty sparse, but then it picks back up. So overall, it's looking pretty good for 3 weeks in. Hopefully we'll get some rain this week, and that'll help things out a little bit. So all right, guys, so I'm gonna call it for this video. It's been about probably 6 weeks since I planted food plot, maybe a little bit longer now, I don't know, since I last went out there and did an update. But at this point, the deer have really been browsing it really heavy. I mean, the tops of pretty much everything has been all nipped off. They obviously like it. It didn't come up as thick as I would have liked, but I guess there's still time for it to do that. But overall, I really like this mix. The stuff that's in it is really good. There isn't a whole bunch of just fillers type stuff. It grew really well given the, you know, the minimal prep that I did. Now, should I have done a pH test and lime and more fertilizer? Yeah, and I think it definitely would have done a lot better had I done all that. But given the fact of, you know, a little bit of work I put into it, it made a nice little plot. The deer have just been destroying. I mean, So that's pretty much what I set out to accomplish. So hopefully, this year I'm able to harvest maybe a doe off of it back behind our house, new property. At least that's kind of my goal going into deer season here. But anyways, guys, I appreciate you checking this one out. The link to the feed plot mix is going to be in the description. If you have any comments or any experience using it or something similar, drop a comment below and let me know. I'll check it out. But anyways, guys, I appreciate y'all watching this one. And remember, take the roads less traveled.